We live. It's like what we live back in full effect, and it's like 6:59. But as usual, SmackDown basically like basically wrestling in general. Shit don't really happen until you get like 30 minutes to an hour into the show. Sometimes they tap. Sometimes they end up just doing. Sometimes they just end up in having some shit pop off in the first hour. Most of the time they don't. So I'm not even tripping anyway. So I don't even pay attention to half the shit that's going on the shows anymore like I used to. But we're back. We're back in full effect once again for another episode of the APF podcast, episode 106. It is the most phenomenal man that shocked the system, aka the coach.
And look, it's your boy going for. I hope you guys have enjoyed your week, enjoying your Friday, and getting ready for the weekend. Let's get it started.
I mean, since it's going to be your day tomorrow, I decide to just let you start off what we're going to do.
Well, look, man. You know me, I'm a sports guy. And obviously, I think the play-ins are pretty much set. I think the playoffs are pretty much set. And so, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to preview at least the series we know are going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I said like before, because if we do all like eight, we don't know all eight. We don't know all eight for both sides. We just know the ones that are there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're gonna go that route. And look, okay, the first series in the Western Conference that we know about are I believe it's gonna be Nuggets. Right now it's Nuggets versus the Mavericks. So let's go with that. Okay, this is, the first series we're gonna talk about. We got the Mavericks, who at the beginning and through the middle of the season were a pretty bad team, routinely in the 8 to 9 spot because Luka decided to not get in shape and basically, uh, look like crap. So, you know, they weren't playing well. Kristaps Porzingis was out due to his injury from last year's playoff series against the Clippers. Josh Richardson wasn't playing very well, hasn't played well all year, and Dorian Finney-Smith, he's on or off. But now with Luka, he's gone to MVP form obviously right now. They're playing well. They beat the Lakers 2 times now. That was without LeBron, but one time with Anthony Davis, though that was his second game back. They beat the Warriors by a bajillion points, which was very disappointing because that was such a big game. And what else? They've been playing, but they have lost to the Kings 3 straight times. So who knows? Are they a good team? Or are they not? We'll never know because
You're talking about Dallas?
yeah.
I think Dallas is a good team. They should be losing the trash can water teams.
They really be losing.
They be losing the teams that they can beat.
Yeah, they sure are. Cause man, they just be losing out of the yin yang out here. But I did, and then we got the Nuggets right now, and I think right now for me, I would pick the Nuggets to win this series in 6 games. Look, the Mavericks have nobody to stop Nikola Jokic. Now,
yes, the Joker.
Yeah, aka Joker. Look, I don't really see. I know they can double team the guy, but he's seen the double teams and triple teams. He's such a great passer, and the greatest thing you can have is a big man who's dominant and can pass well. For example, let's go on the Eastern side. The other dominant big man in the NBA, Joel Embiid, he went against the Warriors. He scored well. I think he scored like 20 points, 30 points. But they're very inefficient and he had a bunch of turnovers because he is not really wanting to pass the ball out of the double team as willingly as Jokic can. And I also think that, look, Luka, if you can get Luka to shoot a bunch of step back threes, that's where you want him. Deny him going inside, keep him in front of you as well as you can, and make him shoot those threes. Because don't be surprised, Luka does like to shoot them outside threes. No caps, no lies, he will. So, for me, I just think there's just Jokic is going to be too much. Can Kristaps Porzingis be that X factor? Him and Michael Porter Jr. are going to be the deciding factors. Michael Porter Jr. says Jamal Murray has been hurt, which has been around, I think, 12 games. Has averaged like 24, 25 points per game, showing you why this guy was the number 1 overall pick or should have been if he was healthy in the year before Zion came out, which was the jaw. Yeah, no, yeah, it was the year before. It was the year before Zion came out.
I think it was 2018.
Yeah, I think it was the Lonzo Ball, Marco Fultz 1 and 2 draft. So he should have been number one because Curry right now, I mean, this guy, if he pulls up, it's money. Okay, it doesn't matter. He pulls up, it's money. He shoots his three, is money, and nobody can block him. He's 6'10". He goes straight up, and he's got a great stroke. And to me, I think he's going to be the X factor for obviously the Nuggets because they need his scoring as well as Kristaps Porzingis. But for me, I would take Michael Porter Jr. in this matchup in terms of the second stars who are really willing and who are really able to take over games because Michael Porter Jr. can, and he's healthy. Kristaps Porzingis, ever since he got the injury, has been either unhealthy or not trustable to be healthy at all. So, we will see how he does in the playoffs, playing every other game because he's not playing right now with an ankle injury, not even playing tonight's game. So, we will also have to see, the Mavericks, they shoot a lot of threes, they space the floor. Look at there's a lot of pick and rolls, lobs. He's great finding the open man when the other team collapses off the weak side or the strong side sometimes. And so, can he able to keep doing that for 4 wins? With Jokic, can he get help from PJ Dozier, from Austin Rivers, Campazzo? So I think the team over there in Denver is much more of a team, much more able to work with each other. And they do a great job of cutting when Jokic does get double teamed. That's one thing you have to worry about with Jokic is his team knows he's a great passer. He's going to pass it. They're cutting. I'm seeing the back cuts right in front when guys decide to turn their heads to double team. They're cutting, man,
And they got Aaron Gordon too. So
yeah,
Aaron Gordon, he's even said that the easiest buckets he's ever gotten was because he's on that team playing with Jokic because Jokic is going to pass that ball and he's gonna say you put yourself in that position, he's gonna get it there before you even get to that position. So he's gonna set you up to score.
Yeah. All I'm hoping with but Aaron Gordon has not been as I thought that with Jamal Murray now he would become even more assertive, but he really hasn't. He's not even the third guy. I don't even know if they really have a third guy. It's kind of more just, hey, we have this, we have this guy, that guy. I'm sorry, we have Jokic, Porter, and then a bunch of dudes who may shoot. Because if you look at his box score numbers, offensively he hasn't really asserted himself on the offensive end, but defensively he's been very good. There's why they traded for him because you need a guy like him who can defend, the LeBrons and the Kawhi Leonards, Paul George, with athleticism on athleticism. And look, I don't think Dallas is not a very good defense team, anyways. And as we all say, habits made in the regular, habits in the regular season are habits in the postseason. And if you can't play defense in the regular season, why would you play better defense in the postseason? So for me, give me Nuggets 4-2, and they'll move on to the second round to face, I believe, the number one seed, probably the Jazz or whoever at the end. We don't know.
Yeah, the Jazz are number one right now.
Yeah, well, that can flip flop and change. Seems like
they're ahead. They're ahead in one game and one loss. They're ahead by one in each side. So if the next game Phoenix wins and then they lose, then Phoenix is probably going to be first.
Okay.
Because right now Utah is 48-18 and Phoenix is 47-19.
Yeah.
So those two. They just got to win basically and hope the other one lose. That's really what they can do because they're pretty much locked in for first place unless they both start tanking like crazy, and that would be a surprise. But anything can happen.
It's going to be they're both trying to go for the one seed, so won't be any taking involved. You would think Phoenix should win that but Utah's been playing very well without Donovan Mitchell, so that's good to see. So I think the second series we can look up here is the 3-6. So
yeah,
the 3-6.
yeah.
The 3-6 right now is
The Lakers and Clippers.
the Lakers. And we just saw this game last night. Now this was out LeBron, but they've beaten LeBron. I don't know if they beat him the second time. I know they beat them the first time. Without what's it called? Without LeBron. And Anthony Davis got hurt with back spasms and some other cheese that we don't know. So we'll see what they do over there. But right now, you got to pick the Clippers. They're much more healthy. They're the best three-point shooting team in NBA history. Right now, they're like 47% from the three as a team, and they shoot over 34 per game. They defensively they're good. I don't think they're as good as they once probably was, or as they were touted at some point. So we'll see about that.
They lost all 3 times already. Damn.
Yeah, but LeBron I think played one. I don't know if he played the second or third one. I know he didn't play the third one. That third one wasn't very competitive, but they lost Anthony Davis. So I'm trying to look at a team with at least a healthy LeBron, healthy AD, and I gotta still trust that LeBron will pull it out. But right now, let's just be all the way 100. Let's look at the honest fact.
LeBron, he played the first one.
Oh, yeah, he did. I don't. He didn't play the second one. I think that's why.
Well, he didn't play the second or third one. He only played the first one.
Yeah. So look, LeBron James will not be 100%. And remember when he came back, he said he had some shooting pain when he put any kind of force on that ankle. So he comes back next week, plays some games. Look, I don't know how they're going to win. Their defense is good, but their offense is kind of whack. And when LeBron came back with Drummond, and I will say this, obviously Drummond, LeBron, AD will not play. Basically, they will not be any games played with each other. They will be like the Nets' big three, who have no games played with each other, basically. They have 7 compared to like this the 4-quarter one game that they play with Drummond, and Drummond didn't even finish the game. And that's another thing. If we got this hypothetical decent LeBron, decent AD with a healthy Drummond's not going to finish the game because his defense is so atrocious they can't trust him. And we know when you give him the ball, he's not going to pass it back out, so teams can just kind of corral him and make him panic. As we saw, he went against Zubac last night, didn't do anything. Zubac shut him down. I mean, Drummond got blocked, got out rebounded, got physicaled out. I mean, Drummond right now looks like a mistake of a free agent pickup. I'm just saying, he really does. But they had to get some big. Marc Gasol was not playing very good at the time. But back to
he's just like, I'm just like, bro. It's like at this point, you don't even want to be there.
Yeah,
you don't even want to play there at this point.
Well, he has to blame himself. He did play so bad that they basically decided to go get Andre Drummond, because something tells me they weren't trying to get Andre Drummond, and they had to get him because they saw just how bad Marc Gasol was playing. Was making no threes and was making no threes. He can't move anymore. I can't say he wasn't playing defense. He just could not play, effective defense at all. So now, you got Kyle Kuzma be like, we should play him some more. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. You're gonna be that guy who says, yes, let's play him some more. Like, come on, man. Don't do that. But I don't know how the Lakers stop. The Clippers offense is so good at getting open threes, corner threes especially. Paul George is so good at taking guys off the dribble. I'll say this, Paul George has been the best player on the Clippers this year. Not only has he played the most games, he's been the most effective. Kawhi's got a foot injury, so he's gonna be limited, and it's gonna be on Paul George. And Paul George has been good off dribble threes, off spot up threes. He's been good in every facet of the game this year. Underrated player. Nobody's really talking about how good he's been. And, you've got Serge Ibaka maybe coming back. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins looking like a good pickup, and he was getting double-teamed by the Lakers, making all those threes. You want to know why? because they would just pick. He would just pick and pop the Drummond or Gasol to death. That's all he's doing. And you don't think that Tyronn Lue didn't see that as like, we could use that against them a little bit, since Drummond likes to drop. Drummond's like Rudy Gobert. He likes to drop, and so it's so easy for if you have a 3-point shooting big to kind of, just eliminate him, make it easier offense on you. And right for me, I just think the Clippers gonna win in 5 games. I think it's gonna be a 4-1 series win with the LeBron that's coming back in AD, and the less time they have to really, mesh with Drummond. I think the Clippers are gonna give it to him bad. They got Reggie Jackson, got Rajon Rondo. I mean, I just don't think the Lakers have got any hope of beating the Clippers right
the
now.
way it's looking like, I don't think they do either. And that's coming from a fan saying that shit, because what I seen, I go out and see, I go out and look at the TV. I'm looking at a 20-point deficit. I'm like, damn, this is what I be doing to teams in the game, and this is what my team's getting beaten with. Don't make sense. Like, I don't know what they could do.
Yeah, it's the truth. We really do not know what they can do for that team. We don't know, right? Like, what are they going to do? What offensively can they do? If LeBron's on the court, they're just really bad. And then when there's no AD, they basically have no offense. And let's not forget, Anthony Davis is also not helping. He's just out there shooting a bunch of jump shots, not going inside. Now, people can say it's because of Drummond, and maybe that's true, but it's not like Drummond can't. Drummond should have learned for years to try to shoot some outside jump shots. But look, Anthony Davis has played with a bunch of guys that couldn't shoot. Okay, he played with Howard and McGee last year, and them dudes can't space for shit. So I don't know where this nonsense about, oh, look at LeBron, look at AD, he can't do anything inside with like Drummond. No, he couldn't. He's just choosing not to, because I don't think he's healthy. That calf ain't healthy. So he's just gonna go out there and shoot a bunch of jump shots. I'm winning. You're losing. And that's the truth. And so for me, how are you gonna, the Clippers are more than happy to let him shoot all those jump shots. We know this. And LeBron is going to be – is he really going to be able to put his mind into and go to that basket to get hit? Hey, man, it's not easy to do that stuff. So for me, give me those Clippers. Give me them in 5. I don't think the Lakers can crack that offense that the Clippers have, which gets such good open threes.
Not as long as LeBron's out, they don't really have much of a chance. And even if they did have him there, I don't know. Like we all say that LeBron's like the more. He is, but it's just like now all of a sudden, LeBron don't want to score the ball like he used to. It's like ever since AD showed up, he just took a backseat. And to me, I'm not really okay with him taking a backseat, because you are the driving force of that team, and without you getting anything going, then what is the team doing? You got AD over here running around, shooting, playing like a perimeter player, like how he was in high school. I'm sitting here like, my dude, when you came to the league, you was not a perimeter player. You played inside. Now, yes, you do have a perimeter game. I will give you that, but you're strictly what he's doing. He's strictly just being a perimeter player. He's not trying to do perimeter and post. So my thing is, why are you trying to be a perimeter player when you need these wins versus you doing that when you don't need the wins like that?
Yeah, look. Honestly, they're probably gonna be in the play-in. That's actually what's gonna happen, and we'll see. But it just really does make you kind of sad as a fan, because that team should not be in no play-in. But look, they got injured, so what can you say? They're going to be in the play-in, and whoever they play in the play-in, unless their name is San Antonio, I'm picking that team. Yes, I will be picking any of those playing teams to beat the current Lakers in a one-game series. A one-game series. That's just me.
because it don't look like that. It don't look like they stand much of a chance in the play and playing sloppy basketball like what I was seeing yesterday. Like God, and most of all to me, it's like we all see AD's numbers have went down. Why have they went down? I think it's because he ever since he's actually gotten help, he's not playing. He's not playing as how he would play in New Orleans. Because we all know New Orleans, he was dropping 30 a night, and all of a sudden now he's dropping like 22 and 9. Now those aren't bad numbers, but for somebody like AD doesn't putting up like 28 and like 11 per night, that's pretty mediocre. And that's my opinion because well, he needs to take over. Him and or LeBron needs to take over because you're not going to get anywhere that championship again if you do not take over. So, you gotta wake up and realize that all that perimeter bullshit you're doing, it's not it. It's not it. I don't like him playing perimeter ball because he did like I said again, he did not come in the league as a perimeter big man. He did not. He can't shoot. So what is he doing out there? He came into the league as a person in the post. He did not play like this in college. He did not play like this in New Orleans. So why is he playing like this right now? I wouldn't I will not understand why he comes back and decides like, okay, I'm gonna play perimeter ball at the most important time of this season. And nobody's telling him anything. Nobody's like saying like, okay, I see that you're playing a lot more perimeter ball than you're doing inside. Why is that? I don't. We won't know that, and then that's just something that I cannot control. I just can't control that because if I was there, I would tell him stop with the bullshit. Stop playing perimeter ball. You did not play perimeter ball when you came in the league. You did not play perimeter ball when you came to New Orleans. So why are you doing it right now at all times?
Yeah, they should probably find some plays to get him the ball. Maybe do a clear out one side, try and get him one on one. But we will see because that probably is going to be the series. Now let's move over because there's only two. There's only two series in each conference that we pretty much know because the 7th and 8th, the 1 and 2, and the 7th. I'm sorry,
Or
the
not
1
even
and 8
or not
and the 2 and
finalized
7.
yet.
Not finalized. So it is what it is. So we're gonna go to the East. I'm gonna go to the series that makes me interested in. It's gonna be right now. It's the Hawks and the Net. I'm sorry, the Knicks.
I think that series could go either way. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
I'm thinking more of New York than Atlanta.
yeah. Well, I will say there's also great job to Nate McMillan. He may have just coached himself into being the new head coach of the Atlanta Hawks, or he actually should have earned that already because that team was falling apart. I don't know what happened with Lloyd Pierce. They just were not playing good. And Nate McMillan comes in. I don't know what he changed, but he changed something defensively, offensively. But they have been a far better team. Trae Young has become even more of a true point guard. He still scores a bunch of points, and you need your guards to score a bunch of points. But he's passing the ball 6-7 assists per game, probably. Every game, which is good.
Probably, but who knows?
And I won't be surprised if he averages 10 for a year. But
He could. That's possible.
Yeah, but he needs better shooters, better guys who can shoot.
That's really it. You just need like better. That's how like LeBron, how he averaged like 10.2 assists last year. He's had people that can shoot the ball and people that put themselves an opportunity to score it.
Oh yeah. So right now, you look at Atlanta first. They've had a really great year. I've always said this was the year where they were trying to make the playoffs. Clearly, you got Bogdan or Bogdanovich over there from Sacramento. Remember the Sacramento tried to trade him to the Bucks, and he was like, "Nah, don't trade me to the Bucks. I didn't say that. So rescind that cheese." And they rescinded it. And it looked pretty bad. So they got him, John Collins. They didn't pick him up, his fifth-year option. They look like they don't want John Collins anymore, which is interesting. But they got
They
Clint
tripping
Capella.
on that one.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
They tripping. They keep. You gotta. I mean, do whatever what you gotta do to keep him, man. Because if he goes somewhere else, shit.
Milk man, they don't want that dude. When they don't give you because I don't know what he hasn't shown them at all. Like I think last year he was 20-10. So I don't really know what else. I mean that was Julius Randle last year. He's 20-10 on a team with a guard who's got like 35+% probable usage. He's got who throws lobs to Clint Capella all the time, and then you've got these other guys. So I really don't know why they wouldn't bring him there, but they won't. So he'll be a restricted free agent, I believe, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, they have Capella, they have Bogdan, they've got what's his face? They got Lou Williams now, who almost wanted to retire, and they've been playing. They beat the Bucks a couple weeks ago, which without Trae Young was such a big game to win, and their offense is really, really potent. They get a lot of threes, a lot of pick and rolls with Trae Young, who makes awesome decisions to either lay it up lob or kick it to the outside man if they decide to close in from the weak side. And they just look good. But look, the Knicks have won, what was it, 12 out of the last 14? Because I think they lost.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, they won 12 out of the last 14.
Yeah, they've lost 2 games in a row. They lost to another good team. I forgot who they lost to. They did lose to to a team last couple a couple of days ago. They lost to Phoenix, which was their other good team. Now I know people are going to make a big thing about this, but look, all I know about what makes Knicks a playoff team is that they are a team that beats all the teams under them, and they have trouble with the teams above them. That's how most teams are. Okay, most teams are you beat the teams behind under you, and you have trouble with the better teams, right? Like the Bucks. The Bucks, they don't have that kind of trouble. They beat the Nets twice, but I don't know. The Nets are so weird without their big three. You don't know what they're going to be at all. But you got Julius Randle, you've got Emmanuel Quickly, and you've got R.J. Barrett. You've got that tough defense over there, grinded out defense. They play at a very slow pace. You've got Nerlens Noel, who continues to play well. What else? They got Taj Gibson. You got Derrick Rose, who's like the new Lou Williams, clearly. Like, he's the new best six man in the league right now. Him and Jordan Clarkson are right then there. I think Jordan Clarkson will probably be my pick for six man of the year, just saying that out loud.
He's probably going to win it.
Probably is going to win it, though, yeah. He scored like 32 something points last night in the blowout game. So you got Derrick Rose, you've got Julius Randle, you got RJ Barrett, you got all those guys. The coaching from Tom Thibodeau, who once again showcases why he's a very good head coach. I know we don't like Tom Thibodeau because, well, he doesn't really move the ball up, and he's not a sexy pick. He doesn't do offense, but the dude really knows how to coach defense because he turned this horrible team with almost exact same players into a team who's fourth, like 8 games over 500, and maybe on their way to winning against the Hawks, their first playoff series.
He basically turned a team that was a laughing stock for years into a team that can actually be taken serious now.
Yeah, they did. And they got good. Man, they are a great defensive team for today's NBA. They're number one rated, so they are the best in the league. They play at a pace that allows them to play good defense. It allows to, minimize the possessions. Now, they will speed it up with you. If your team will speed it up, they are willing to speed it up. But generally, they want to play at a slow pace. For me right now, I think I'll pick the Knicks because in the playoffs, we all know what happens. Defenses ratchet up. Now, why does it ratchet up? Because the refs allow you to do a lot more. They just do. They understand that the refs are not going to decide the championship. Players do. And this is the playoffs. And we should allow a little bit more defense and allow a little bit more pressure. This, and so with that,
I pick the Knicks as well. These just look like these just looking like a team that will just literally eat up Atlanta alive.
yeah, I don't. Atlanta has nobody to stop Julius Randle. Julius Randle has all the repertoire. He shoots it. He goes inside. He can dribble. I mean, I don't know how they really stop him. I just believe that they can limit Trae Young because Trae Young is a small guy, and smaller guys can be limited more in the playoffs. More physical, you can really hold them, stuff like that. So we will see. But I've got to go with the team plays better defense. It's such a difference of defense between both teams that's going to be the big deal breaker for me. The Knicks don't shoot well from the three. They don't really create a lot of open threes, really. It's a lot of kind of one-on-one. RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, there really. RJ Barrett who plays all the minutes in the world and does absolutely nothing with them. But yeah, man, that's our pick, New York.
Yeah, just put it like that. So basically they just right now they're just on a hot streak and they're just looking like that team that will just and as we said before, they have trouble beating people better than them, but beat people that aren't better than them. And look at Atlanta. They are in the standings not better than New York, so they're going to have a chance. So their high probability is that they're going to beat Atlanta.
Yeah, it's high probability to do beat Atlanta. They should be favored to beat Atlanta. Atlanta is a good team, but we at this point they're just not the great defense team, and defense wins championships, or at least defense can get you far. So I think the only other series there left is
Milwaukee versus
Boston, and I'm sorry, Milwaukee win this in 5 games. Boston, they are hit or miss. Some games are good, some games are not. As we all saw, Jason Tatum scored the most points he's ever scored on a game where his team was down by 30 points. And that's the Celtics. The Celtics are the epitome of consistency, of non-consistency, I'm sorry. They're never consistent. They have these games where they play well, and then they have this random game where they get blown out, and you're just like, what is going on? They've never had a decent winning streak. I think they had a 5 or 6 game winning streak, but that was very late into the season. Throughout most of the season, what they have been is a team with really good players, two All-Stars, in my opinion, because they had 2 All-Stars. And when they had those 2 All-Stars, they were a losing record team. And they've been hovering around 500 all year. They are a 500 basketball team. This is a team who basically returned everybody from a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals for the 3rd time in 4 years. Let's all be honest. The best team that's been in the East for the last 4 or 5 years is not Milwaukee. It's been Boston. Because Boston continues to be in the conference finals. That's just it. Milwaukee has made it once, but failed to make it to the conference finals in the last 2 years.
And they had a 2-0 lead against Toronto and lost it.
Yeah, because Giannis got exposed, and again, he's great, he's awesome, he's efficient, but when you can't shoot the ball, teams will eventually figure that out. But they do build a wall, so that's why you see him trying to shoot threes now, because he knows I gotta shoot the ball, so I just have to. So, and plus Milwaukee has nobody to stop Giannis. Tristan Thompson's not gonna stop Giannis. Jason Tatum's not gonna stop Giannis. Giannis is going to Euro step through him. He's going to make those threes. They've got Drew Holiday, who I was raving that was such a great pickup, because not only did you get probably the best defensive guard in the league, you've got the best defensive guard in the league who can handle, who can get his own shot, who can post up guards, okay, who can be kind of on the clutch. Look, I didn't really understand why New Orleans let him go. I would have kept him, but they clearly wanted to do a full rebuild, and so they traded him away to the Milwaukee Bucks, which is such a great pickup. Look, the Bucks are my favorite right now to get to the finals because I don't know what the hell is going to happen with Brooklyn. If they don't have James Harden, they've shown me they can't beat the Bucks. These are 2 games. They beat the Bucks, beat the Nets 2 times, people, 2 times in the span of a week. These were very important games. Everybody played. I bet you it was that playoff intensity, and Giannis ate them up. He ate him up. He scored like 49 the first game. He scored like another 35 plus against them again. Okay, so Giannis is on the mission, and Giannis ain't scared about no Boston because Boston isn't a good team. They are a below average team with superstar level talent because for whatever reason the talent can never mesh to be the team. You've got Jaylen Brown, career year. Jason Tatum, career year. In their 7th, or 6th, or if they lose tonight and 2 teams win under them, they're 8th or something, or 7th. That's what they are. And you're telling me that team has a shot? Look, they're going to be possibly they're going to probably end up kind of like what happened to the 76ers last year, who got like swept basically in 5. They're going to get gentlemen swept by the Bucks. And Giannis is going to average 35, 12, and 6 because they have no answer for Giannis on that team. They can't build a wall against him. All their dudes are slim. They ain't got no meat. They ain't got no defensive intensity on them. The only one who plays defense on that team, 2 of them, are Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown. And Giannis be going through them too. So, to me, it's a 5-game series because they can't stop Giannis, but Milwaukee can stop them. And also, they don't shoot the 3 very well in Boston. Milwaukee loves to allow people to shoot the 3, and that's also something. If you can't attack Milwaukee's biggest weakness well, which is shooting 3s, then you almost have no hope of beating them because you're not going to get anything inside with Brook Lopez and Giannis, parading the inside.
So hell no. Their length, bro, you're not getting anywhere.
Nah. So yeah, that's my pick. It's 5. Let's let you talk about who is your pick and why.
Oh man, I mean, I would say Boston because they're because I would say Boston, but Milwaukee, they just got it. They just got everything there is. They got shooting, Chris Middleton, DiVincenzo, Drew Holiday. They got the defense and Giannis and Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez inside.
And does Bobby Portis even play defense? That's where all he does is just score.
I mean, he got a little something, but not like crazy. But overall, it's just like when I look at Milwaukee, they just got the tool. These got all, and then I look at who is it? I look at Boston. All they got scoring. I mean, that's scoring is cool, but then you gotta stop the other team from scoring, and then you gotta score again. So, to me, I think they're really outmatched because not only does Milwaukee have the scoring, they got the defense, and all Boston got scoring. They only got a couple people that play defense on the team, and nobody else. So, I'm picking Milwaukee like in 6.
Okay. Alrighty, well, let's move on to quickly now. My pick for the playing games. I think Golden State gets through for the West. And I believe, well, I don't know. It depends. Whoever between the Lakers and Blazers is in that playing game will probably also get through. And for the East, yeah, well, because right now was the playing game. The Golden State plays Portland and Memphis plays San Antonio. What's it? New Orleans is done. Zion and Brandon Ingram are not going to play the rest of this year, so they're basically done.
They got injured?
Yeah, Zion's got a broken finger, and Brandon Ingram's got a pretty bad ankle injury, so they're done. So pretty much So that means San Antonio is going to be the 10th seed. So yeah, whoever is for me, it's going to be Golden State, and whoever between what's their face between the Lakers and Blazers will be in. Now that can mean they both play each other, and one of them goes to the last to the for the ACD game and they lose or whatever. But I think Golden State with Steph Curry is going to be hell bent on getting on getting through that championship and winning. That's just me.
So I mean, I think the Warriors the Warriors got it. If it's Portland, they got it. If it's Lakers, they have a chance. They might not have too much. They might have a bit of a problem, but they still might have a chance at the same time. And they're beating San Antonio. That's facts.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
Central
facts.
is a pretty good team. And so for the Eastern right now is Washington. I think it's like Washington,
And
um,
Indiana,
Indiana, yeah, Indiana, and the other
and
two
it's
teams.
Miami and Charlotte.
Yeah, Miami and Shark can flip flop between their 7 and 8 because they're always like half a game of each other. They're both. I think they're playing. Yeah, they're both playing today, so we'll see. But right now, for me, I'm totally picking Washington. Russell Westbrook is 1 game away from his triple double, being the triple double king. Um, he seems hell bent on making the playoffs, and I don't know who on those teams can stop him. Indiana, nope. Uh, Miami is a team. I think it's going to be Miami and Washington. I think if Miami finishes as the 7th or 8th and they beat whoever's in that game, Washington will go through like Indiana and they'll beat like Charlotte for the 8th seed, and that's how I look at it.
I've, I think Washington they got it. There's not really much to say. Indiana. I don't think has some. Is Sabonis? I don't even know. If Sabonis injured. He's still
No,
playing.
Tobias is good, but I just don't think their team as a whole is good enough. Malcolm
Yeah,
Brogdon is
their team ain't good enough.
yeah, like Malcolm Brogdon is injured, and when he come back, he won't be very healthy. We all know this. I mean, once you jack up your hamstring, you're pretty much useless until like the year after, until you get it healthy. And so I don't really know what they're gonna do in that team to improve themselves, but to me, I'm those are teams I'm taking. Washington, Miami, uh, only and it's gonna be hard because I think Washington will be in the second to last game, the first elimination game, and Miami will be in the seventh seeded game, and I think that's what's going to happen, and that's why I'm picking Miami and Washington.
I'm doing the same. It's simple, man. My Miami. They got It's like I said with Milwaukee. They got everything they need. They got the scoring and they got the defense. Charlotte. I mean, they a decent team, but they're not they're nowhere near the level of Miami. Miami just got it all. And Washington, the same thing. Washington has it all. They got a guy who's obviously willing to pass the ball and who's obviously willing to get crash in there with the biggest of the big. And they also got a scoring threat in Bradley Beal who will light 30 up on your ass tonight. And what does Indiana have? Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it. So I'm picking Washington and Miami.
Yeah.
Simple.
All right.
Simple.
Let's move on to your topic here. What else we got?
Oh, it's just like something funny that So how Floyd he's fighting Logan out on June 5th, some June like basically the next month he's fighting him June 5th in Miami, and they had a little face-off press conference or whatever. And long story short, you all know who decided to act like a jackass. Jake Paul. He over there getting in Floyd's face and whatnot. So they talking, and it looks like they might set up a fight. From what it looks like, Floyd might want to smoke with Jake after he gets done with Logan. So if that really happens, I can't wait. And long story short, Jake's dumbass decided to go grab his damn hat, and then because they both were cool a couple years ago, and all of a sudden they just how it is. You get for some reason you're cool with somebody, and then all of a sudden you have beef. You have beef or problems with them. I don't really know why. I don't really know why that's the thing. I just can't seem to get that from my point of view. Like if I'm cool with you, why would I have a problem with you a couple years later? I don't know how they even. I don't even know what happened. But long story short, he grabbed his hat, and then he got mad, and Logan started, and Logan was trying to get in there too. Jake was running away like a bitch as usual. He gonna call people pussies and shit, but he's the one running away from Floyd, who he's taller than, and who he's taller than. So I don't know why a tall ass dude like him is running away from a short ass dude like Floyd. You know, for a guy that's 50, I would run away from him too, because I don't want to get knocked out by his little ass. So, and then I seen on IG that somebody said like, oh, Floyd looks cute when he's mad. That had me. When I say that had me dying. They really disrespected him. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay, keep talking. Yeah.
and then there was like a whole little clip of him walking out and then talking about this. He was just, it was just so funny, man. It was just so funny. I ain't never seen him mad like that ever. I ain't never seen him mad for as long as I know of Floyd Melanie Mayweather. I've never seen him mad like that.
Yeah.
But
My thing is one I was watching Fresh and Fit, and there's some weird ass, what's it called? There's some channel that talks about like women and money and fitness and all that shit. And they think it was a ploy. They think it was actually just fake. And I was thinking like, yeah, I could see it. Because look, these guys, I mean, didn't Floyd and Connor say some real crazy stuff?
oh yeah, they was talking crazy too. They was talking big
crazy, going around the world saying crazy ish to get their fight hyped. And maybe Floyd, maybe he went a little overboard, or maybe it was true. He was really mad that he took his hat saying, "I'm gonna fucking kill him" and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, he was saying all that type of shit. He said he wanted to kill them, man. I was like, damn, he really that pressed over his hat.
Yeah. And so we will see. We'll see.
I hope he do fight Jake, man, because Jake needs to get tested. And what better way to get tested than by getting tested by a man that's never knew what defeat tasted like.
Yeah, he don't know what defeat.
Some people actually believe Logan can knock him out.
Yeah, well, they believe a lot of things.
Man, if Logan do knock him out, man, look, I'll put my whole money that he don't knock him out.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna knock him out, even though the height difference should be somewhat significant, and
I think Logan I think Logan's like 6'2" or some shit.
Yeah, well, Floyd's like 5'8", so that's a big difference. And I'm not gonna say he won't get. I mean, he can get the shit knocked out of him. You don't know. I mean, he can get real fucked up. He can really get fucked up hard. From these hits that he be getting.
Yeah. Logan is 6'2".
Yeah, I don't know how he doesn't get fucking destroyed by. I don't think he's gonna like do anything to Mayweather. I think Mayweather is gonna be just fine. But yeah, I don't know if that thing was real, man. Those dudes. The fight game is a fight game, and the only way to get people to care about your shit is if people, actually care, which is get hype and scream and say crazy stuff and do whatever Jake did. And but I give Jake Paul this: he has made being a douchebag very very profitable, and I gotta give him props for that.
Yeah, he has. He he really has made being an asshole slash douchebag very very profitable, and that's why I'll give him that. He does know how to make money when he wants to make money, but
Yeah.
the dude is like still dude is still an annoying son of a bitch that I just do not like. I just don't like this man.
Yeah, I don't like him that much, but he does his own thing. At least he stays away from the real big boys. Because if he fought the real big boys, he would be snuffed out.
He wouldn't even be talking shit if he was facing like a Canelo Alvarez or Manny Pacquiao or Mike Tyson or Roy Jones Jr. He don't want to smoke with none of them. He don't want it.
Oh yeah.
But he's smart and damn, Connor really lasted 10 rounds with him. Shit, that's
Well,
great. I'm Connor and Floyd they fought they boxed. He
yeah,
actually lasted 10 rounds. I was like, damn, he lasted 10 rounds with him.
yeah. He lasted 10 rounds. He kind of played around with him and then beat him up. That's what he
Damn.
did, though. He beat him up. I have kind of was like, all right, time for me to beat that ass. He said, pop, 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 pop.
He's like, you know what, fuck it. It's time for me. It's time for me to get you up out of here, man. Shit, wasting
Yeah,
my time.
that's what they do, though. Which makes me laugh.
Bro, I'm looking at Floyd's I'm looking at Floyd's what you call it, his fight history, and he's like, it's like some of these people that he fight I never heard of ever.
Yeah, yeah, because we were young when he was in his actual prime fighting all these dudes. The moment we carried, he was old and not fighting nobody. You know?
He fought Shane Mosley. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley. Damn.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Okay, shit. Damn.
he
And
fought.
well, I think that's gonna do it for this week's episode of the APF podcast, episode 106. It is I, the most phenomenal man that has shot his system, aka the coach, signing out.
And man, look, here's your boy going forward. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. I hope you're ready for the end of the NBA season and the start of the postseason with the play in May 18th. And enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the whatever you're doing for this weekend. And don't forget to stay safe out there, but go have some fun. You've been locked up too much. And hey man, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't gotta wear no mask. Unless you live with your parents who want you to wear masks, then you're screwed. But if you live by yourself, you can go wear some masks. Don't have to wear masks and go out there, have some fun, and go eat, man. Go out there and eat, man. A lot of people out there enjoying. I see a lot of people out here going out here eating, going to the beach, going to the malls because they're tired of being cooped up in their houses. And have a good week. Good weekend.
This nigga made 1.6 billion. No wonder he be spending fucking money. I'm done.
Who, Floyd?
Yeah, he made like.
Well, but why does he keep
made
fighting?
like 1.6. He made the revenue on like, from what I've seen, from like 16 fights that are on pay per view. He made like 1.6. The revenue came out to be 1.6 million, 1.6 billion actually.
Yeah, like he makes money, but the dude keeps fucking fighting. He's fighting every time. You almost think, does he even make money? That's always been my question with him. Is you do all this, right? You put all this money out, and you got like all these cars, but you keep fighting. So clearly, you don't got enough money because your dumbass keep fighting every time. That's always been my question with Floyd Mayweather: is your stupid ass keep fighting, even though if I made 1.6 billion, why am I going out here putting my head on the line again? Because Floyd Mayweather needs that money. He really does. Or maybe, or he says maybe he doesn't need that money. He just sees it as easy money, and he likes to do easy money, so he fights. But I've always been like, this motherfucker keeps fighting. If I made that money, I ain't fighting no more. Hell no, I'm going
Bro,
home.
bro, hey, I'm about to put that shit in like stocks. I'm about to be putting some of my money in like stocks and shit. Like putting in like banking like other multiple bank accounts, man.
Oh
Fuck
yeah,
that.
but he likes to fight, so it's whatever. But yeah, man, we done.
Yeah, man. Oh, and we out this thing.
Later.